Hi FlossTube, I'm Nan Pope and this is The Difference Maker. This is my FlossTube channel to talk about cross stitch and other crafts, although today I'm going to be focused just on cross stitch. I thought I'd pop in here today, being it's election day and I'm sure everybody's stressed, and just as a way to kind of, maybe you're looking for something else to watch other than the election results that may roll in later today. I just thought I'd pop in and give a somewhat brief update about what's been going on here over the last couple of weeks. So I'd first like to just thank everybody for their support of my FlossTube channel, those who have shared information about the channel. If this is your first time here, I hope that you see something that you like, and that you'll be a returning visitor, or I would love it if you'd subscribe and like the video. That'd be awesome. But last time I had a giveaway, and so we'll just start there. Not a ton of life updates, but I was doing this, I'm pretty sure this is it, yes. Home for autumn. Yes, this is the giveaway item, and I asked that if you would like to stitch this, that you'd include in the comments the word autumn, and our winner for that is Christy Martin. So Christy, if you're watching, if you would please send me an email or private message me on Instagram, and I will get this out to you. I'll need your, obviously, your mailing address would be great, and a phone number just in case there's any issues. So, yeah, so thanks everyone who participated and commented. And, the reason why I started my FlossTube channel is because there's no LNSs in my area, and I'm in the Atlanta area, north of Atlanta. And I really didn't know anyone here who, I didn't have stitchy friends, basically. My sister quilts, she lives down the street, but, and she once upon a time cross-stitched, and actually my older son informed her about my FlossTube channel, and she started watching it, and so she linked into Priscilla and Chelsea and probably a few others, and now she has picked up cross-stitching once again after years, and also I think she's going to attempt to do some punch needle. So I'm kind of curious about that and how that's going to turn out. But I didn't, since it's been about 2 weeks or just over 2 weeks since my last video, I've had a lot of packages arriving here at the house, but honestly, I think that most of those I have either, they could have been floss or things that I was waiting on, or some patterns. But a couple of things that had arrived that I kind of singled out to be able to show you, because I just get too excited about the stuff when it arrives, and I get busy either working on it, and kind of like Brendan the serial starter, I do a whole lot of starting, and then I kind of get things to a certain point, and then I start focusing more on particular things. And I heard someone the other day on a FlossTube, and honestly I don't remember which one it was, talking about the types of stitchers. And I used to be a monogamous stitcher, which, stitching on a particular item at a time until it was complete, or until I got bored. Then I'd pick up something else and work on it. And I've tried, because of having the YouTube channel, the FlossTube channel, I've tried to stitch a little bit on more things. I have tried kind of having a schedule, but that doesn't always work, just for the fact that even though my husband and I are empty nesters, something's always coming up, phone calls. I'm also technical support for my family, so I wind up doing a lot of that. And anyway, time just winds up being a lot shorter, and I don't, plus working full time, just don't have as much time to stitch as I would like to. Although my husband would probably tell you I spend all of my time stitching when I'm not working. So anyway, a couple of things. I had purchased from Fat Quarter Shop. This is called Whirlpool, and it is a Picture This Plus. This particular cut is an Aida, and you can see the color here. I really didn't have anything particular in mind for that, but I also bought, I'll go ahead and show it to you. Also bought Whirlpool in a Lugana, 28 count. Also Picture This Plus, and you can really see the difference in how the dye takes between an Aida and a Lugana. This is much darker. This is a lot brighter. You see a lot of the variegation in the color in both of them. Oh, excuse my nose itch. So I have immediate plans for this one, and I'll show that to you in just a few minutes. I also received, I'm part of the Niecie Lynn Club from Fat Quarter Shop, and this one is called French Country. And you can see it has kind of a purpley cast to it. It's, I think, kind of a brown taupey color, but has a little bit of a plummy purpley cast. And this is a 28 count linen. And I also am part of the Be Stitch Me Fabric of the Month Club. I didn't take these out of the packaging, obviously. But then we have this one. This is the October Fabric of the Month. And this is a 28 count Lugana as well. I can't read without my glasses, but I was catching so much of the light. This one is called Escape. And you can see it's got kind of some aqua, a little taupey, purpley colors, some darker blues. Really pretty. No plans for that yet. So, also, since the last time we were together, one of my favorite designers is also Theresa Kogut. And Teresa, as I've mentioned before, if you're not familiar with her, is an artist, and she does a lot of bears and prim, but she also does a series of angels, and she has done punch needle, but has recently, or more recently, also produced cross-stitch patterns. And she does a lot of really cute, clever things and different spins on things and what you might see from other designers. But one thing that she recently did is she had started a Patreon, and I wasn't sure whether that was something that I wanted to participate in or not, but I decided I would try it, and I signed up for kind of the middle grade. I think I'm a tier 3. There's 4 tiers, and I'm a tier 3 participant. And as part of that, Teresa produces a number of charts that are exclusive for her Patreon members. And she also posted just the other day a Patreon, a chart that she was launching in Patreon, but ultimately put in her Etsy shop. We got it as part of our membership where others would, you know, see it and have the ability to purchase it. Some things are exclusive to Patreon, and they will be for probably a year, 18 months before they're released. But this one I thought was really cute. And you'll find this one, I believe, on her Etsy site, Be Thankful. And this one I decided to go ahead and get started on. And so this is how far I've gotten. And this is probably a 28 count linen. I think this is a DMC linen, a Charles Craft. I've had it for a long time. It's thinner than some, but it was just something I had readily available, and I kind of liked the color of it and thought it would be appropriate for that. I was going to show you, I'm not very organized today, some of the other exclusive charts. Not the charts themselves, but a couple of things that she's posted. Like this is a chart that was a Patreon. And she started posting a couple of Christmas ones. I love this. Happy birthday, Jesus. And this one as well. I think that's really sweet. So you may see some of these being stitched online and, you know, not be able to find the patterns. And that's because these are exclusive to Patreon. So, you know, if you're interested, Teresa and I have never spoken. She doesn't do, you know, provide any incentive for me to encourage people to participate in Patreon. I just want you to know it is an option, and she does have some exclusive content there. So if you're a fan of Teresa, you might want to check that out. I have a couple of finishes, and so this is one. This is my 1987 Prairie Schooler. And I just finished this one the other day. And the only thing about it that I'm doing a little differently, my red is a little brighter. I know most Prairie Schoolers have that deeper red, and I can't recall the number, but this one is 321. I just like a little bit more vibrant color. It's not terribly different from the color it had called for, but I just thought this was really pretty, done and just a little bit brighter. So the 1987 Santa, I bought this pattern as, which I believe I'd mentioned before, but I bought this pattern way back in probably 1987 because my oldest son was due 2 weeks before Christmas, 1987. So we had like baby's first ornament, baby's first Christmas, all of these baby's first with dated 1987. And then he decided to be a week late, 2 weeks late actually. He arrived 5 days after Christmas. So he was still born in 1987, but just barely. He didn't arrive until the 30th of December. So really technically his first Christmas was 1988, but he was born in 1987. So anyway, this one was intended for him, and I wanted to go ahead and stitch it anyway because I loved it so much. And I have I have others as well. It's the reason why I haven't cut this one off of the linen, because I intend to stitch others on this same piece. I won't frame them as one piece. I don't even know how I'll ultimately finish them. Whether I'll do them as ornaments or do them as flat folds or little pillows, but I have plenty of linen to be able to do additional Prairie Schoolers. And then I finished Boo to You. I finished this before Halloween. That was my goal. This is when I spent most of my time over, probably most of my stitching time over that 2-week period between Halloween and my previous video working on this one. Just wanted to have something finished. So many of my other pieces were larger and just taking a lot more time to get them done. And I might have had 1 or 2 of them complete and stayed on track with my stitch alongs if I had not worked on Boo to You, but you guys just enable me. So when I see everybody else's floss tubes and looking at Instagram and seeing all the beautiful things that everybody else is doing and all the new patterns, I get distracted easily, and get a little bored in things that I'm working on. So one of the things that I'm working on that I need to get busy, the final piece of this is Halloween Fright Night with Fat Quarter Shop. And this is almost the first 3 components complete. So I'm 2 weeks behind, actually. The final piece released last Friday. So the haunted house is mostly complete from part 3. And then there's a larger component of the house that sits like down here. And then this whole left side for you, I think that's your left, there's a large tree and a very large pumpkin that sits underneath here. The other thing I noticed when this was put out, when the final piece was released, because it is a mystery as it's coming out, you don't really know what the different pieces are going to be. There was a bit of a gap to me in right here, where kind of a blank spot. And I'm thinking of either adding another bat, maybe a smaller witch on a broom, or something to kind of fill that gap. I feel like it just needed a little something. So don't know if and when I'm going to get that done, but that is the intention. Also, I'm part of the Hello Dear Stitch Along with Caterpillar cross stitch based out of England. I've not gotten very far. Well, I've gotten all, I think this is pretty much the first week done. They have 2 additional pieces that have come out, and I think there's another one that's coming out next Monday, I think, is when the next piece comes out. So I have a lot of stitching to do, but this is where I am so far. But I just love this little robin. And then there's a bunny right here, and then above it there's a squirrel, and then there's a lot of holly and various things. And then I think the next piece is where we're going to wind up getting into the tree trunk. This is all based on the top component of a tree. Then there'll be the tree trunk, and then some other things which are all hidden from us because, again, it is a mystery where they just release components at each release. So that is what I've been stitching on. And then some things that I have planned. Well, a couple other free charts to tell you about. As you all know, I just love Niecie Lynn. I've never met her. We've exchanged some emails and talked to each other online. I swear, I think that we would be best friends. This girl just keeps me completely in stitches. She has probably the most funny and fun floss tubes. She is so full of personality, facial expressions. If you haven't checked her out, you should. It's just Niecie Lynn, Niecielynn is her floss tube name. You'll also find her under that name on Instagram as well. Really check her out. But Niecie has put out a couple of free charts, and the first one that she put out, and when I printed this it just blew up huge, but it doesn't stitch this large, and I'm just going to flash them up here, but they are online. It's an alphabet inside of a pumpkin, and that's really cute. And then she did Broom Hair Don't Care, which I told her, I said, man, it looks just like me in a windstorm. How she got me. I didn't realize that picture was being taken. But it's really cute. And I think she has finished her stitching of this. And you'll see that online. But really, a couple of really cute things for the, if you got them now, you could stitch them for next year. So, plans. Things that are going on. Well, I showed you the whirlpool in the Whirlpool Lagana, and because I just finished Boo to You, I want to do Peppermint Pal, and I'm going to do it on this fabric. This looks a little, you know, obviously a little deeper than the blue that they had used, but that's fine. That's my plan for that. So I'm going to get started on that one. And another thing that I want to do is the Blackbird Designs, the little mini Christmas stockings. There's 3 designs in this particular one. This is for the month of December. Blackbird Designs, I think that these were produced back in 2009, if I'm not mistaken. And you'll see there's 2 designs here on the back, 1 on the front. So there's 3 designs in here, and each one of the packets, there's one for every month of the year, and each packet has 3 designs. And what I'm kind of toying with is there's 6 of us in my immediate family, is picking a stocking from each of our months and doing those as, because we always give the kids a Christmas stocking, and not a stocking, a Christmas ornament every year. And last year I knit them, I think they were knit, and maybe I crocheted them, little miniature Christmas stockings. But this year I'm thinking that I'm going to do everybody a little cross-stitch stocking. This is pretty much the size for scale as to how large these are. But of course, it's ambitious. There's not a ton of stitching on all of these, but if I put my mind to it, I might be able to get them done in time. We shall see. And the other one is the 911 Stitcher, based out of California. She has started a stitch along that began on November 1st of any Carolyn Manning design. So I debated about whether to start again something new, but I had seen Carolyn Manning's designs and loved so many of them. Honestly, it was hard to choose something, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to jump in. There's no real time frame for completion, just getting started. And I thought this might help motivate me and keep me in check to participate and work on this. So what I've chosen is Carolyn Manning's Carnival. And this is a full coverage piece. It works out on 28 count over 2 to be about 11.5 inches square. Square. But I just love the colors in this. There are some that are very monochromatic. The blues, the golds, the reds, and then there are some that are designs that are florals, some are trees, some are gnomes, snowmen, cats, quilt squares, just lots of different options. This is a downloadable pattern, so I had it instantly. But I'm excited to pull the threads for this. And it doesn't really matter what fabric I put this on. I think I'm going to put it just on white Monaco, because when it's stitched, it's going to be a full coverage piece. I just need to honestly think about it a little bit, just because I don't know if I would frame it or make a pillow out of it, or what I would do that's going to take it right to the edge of the stitching. Or I may dye my fabric if I'm going to have some amount of fabric showing between a frame or a pillow or something. So the stitch along began November 1st. I did not begin on November 1st, but I did get my pattern. I just need to kind of make the plans for how I want to start. You can't dye the fabric after the fact. So I think that pretty much covers everything that I had planned to talk about. This is a shorter than normal video. Not a lot has been happening with us personally, just Groundhog Day, working, eating, sleeping, working, eating, sleeping, and stitching in between. My son had gone back to California. My younger son and daughter-in-law are building a home. So we had Hurricane Zeta had pulled through here. Typically when a hurricane hits Atlanta, it's down to a tropical storm or less, and we get tons of water, but not a lot of damage. We had about 3 days last weekend. I think it came through here around Wednesday evening or Thursday, really early in the morning. Came in between 2 and 4 a.m. and knocked power out, took trees down all across Atlanta. My little pocket of where I live, north of Atlanta, did not lose power. Everybody around us, south of us, north of us, and on both sides, there was power out everywhere. We were really fortunate and blessed not to have been impacted. My husband had just cleaned our yard, blown all the leaves and had everything clear. You would not have known that he had done a thing. We had a lot of sticks and twigs and leaves everywhere, even plastered on houses because of the intensity of the storm. Sorry, got a phone call. But anyway, with that, go out and vote if you've not already. I don't know if this will get posted in time for people to actually vote. If you see this message, let's just all be kind to one another. And I do want to share a Theresa Kogut. She has the angel kindness cards, and I just thought this one was so pretty. I don't think I've shared this one before, but I just love this girl. And it says, "You were born with a purpose that is unique to you. Only you can carry it out. So be you. Trust God and believe in yourself." So anyway, go out and make a difference in somebody's life. Be kind to one another, regardless of which way the election goes. Half of us are going to be very disappointed. Half of us are going to be very excited. Just realize that, everybody doesn't think just like you or like me, and just be kind and sensitive to those who don't think like us. So anyway, just have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, FlossTube. Bye.